Hello, begin. Back with another cast to do. Um, yes, doing another cast on the map Tzel against Dindomir, who's playing in red on the left. He's using the Koruck 559, which I believe is a Hungarian division. Got access to a lot of infantry, a few sort of medium tanks, and I think some Tigers as well, but mainly it's going to be all these light tanks, the recon vehicles, and just a hell of a lot of infantry. And I think this is actually a map which really suits him. Having so many infantry on a map which has so much foliage, so much heavy cover, it's going to be a good choice. So I think he got a little bit lucky uh, just from picking this. Obviously, he didn't pick the map, but from the way that the game chose the map to sell, it's going to play out in his favour for sure. I'm on the right, I'm in blue, also playing as the Axis, playing as the Panzer Grenadier Nordland. We're both playing on Vanguard, so it is literally just going to boil down to who uses their units more effectively. I've got to say this is probably my least favourite map on the game. I really do just hate how there is so much heavy cover every 5 metres. It's really grating. Straight off the bat there, nice kill from the Puma. Again, I always bring these in Phase A with 2-star veterancy to bump the accuracy up. And it paid off there. Took out a unit of Rona Pioneer, it looked like. But it looks like he trades back with a Panzer T-34, getting a nice kill onto what was my Pioneers as well. These Rona Pioneers, an interesting unit, the Hungarian version of the German Pioneers, but they have Russian weapons. PPSH, 8 SVTs and a DP-28. It's actually a better loadout in my opinion than the normal Pioneers, the German ones. They've only got 7 carbines. They do an MG34, which of course is a much faster fire rate. But in my opinion, at sort of medium range engagements, these are probably going to be the better unit. But we shall see. My opponent investing quite heavily at the moment on this middle area, which is probably a wise move because if you take this hill, you've got 2 flags. You've got a lovely view from these trees onto any reinforcement lines. So he's made a smart move there. He's going to put 2 flak 38s to try and babysit his units. Not going to be able to take out my jet bomber straight off the bat, which is, I think is just bombing these T-34s. It's a smart thing and backs them away because they could certainly have gone down to that. I think in hindsight I probably would have been better off bombing this tree, these trees here, even though that's 120 points. If I could taken them out, that would have been really good. But no, I could have taken out 4 or 5 units. There's a cluster of trees here if I bombed that, so a little bit of a misplay there. On the north, I've got a nice push, taking hold of this area, but my opponent has recognised the danger, and he's just investing right now in a load of these cheap T60s, which are a Hungarian tank, they're a Russian tank, the T60. So the Koruck 559 making the most of a lot of Buta Russian units, Russian captured tanks and whatnot. Got some Spaverband holding in this heavy tree line, which I'm probably going to lose that against my Panzergrenadiers and my Pioneers. This is again such a unique unit. I can't think of anything else which has access to 2 anti-tank weapons in the game. Panzerschreck and the Panzerfaust. A little bit overkill in my opinion. You're probably not going to need both, but they are going to really do the damage if any tanks come close, so certainly have to watch out for that. Seems like a lot of the Koruck 559 infantry do have the disheartened icon, which of course means if they do get pinned, they're just going to start falling back, which isn't necessarily a bad thing a lot of the time. In my opinion, it can just take away a little bit of micro as well if you've got units that are disheartened. If they're getting pinned down, and in other circumstances they would just sit there and get chewed up. If they're disheartened, they just turn and run away, which obviously is annoying because you can't hold a line as effectively, but it stops your units from just getting surrendered, which is a really strong way to play this game right now. Just pin infantry down and then push forward and get them to surrender. So I've all but lost my hold on this middle area, these T-34s. and all these infantry are doing a nice job. I've just got these units here to hold this town and hold this flag. I was reluctant to try and move them up and try and take that fight without any more decent reinforcements. Got a Pack 40 in this heavy cover here, just watching down on anything crossing over this bridge. I think that's a Valentine crossing over now. It is a Valentine, it's just taken a very heavy hit there. I think one more should do the trick. Indeed, it does go down. So that's one Valentine out of the game. 13 to 11, I've managed to take away a few tickets from Dindomir. But it is very, very close right now. The fact he's holding this hill in the middle makes it really, really awkward. I should be able to regain this flag down now here in the south. He's managed to reinforce his T60s with some Rona Schutzen, which are pretty strong infantry. I'm probably not going to be able to stand against all of these lads with just my Pioneers, my MGs, and my Panzerschreck, but I've moved this Panzerschreck away so I didn't get spotted. I want to use this. Even if these guys do go down, I can keep this back here and skirmish off from the tree line at any tanks and transports that come down the road. But if you're looking at the battlefield now, I am starting to look a little bit sparse on units, just because I've invested heavier in tanks at the moment, which is maybe a little bit of a misplay. I've got a Stug here, which isn't really doing anything, it's just holding. I maybe could have done the same thing with this Puma, which is now there, and maybe an MG would have saved me a few points. Got a Stug here, again, trying to find a way to utilise this. Maybe push up and challenge the T-34s on the hill. But my opponent now pushing down on the south with a lot of these Rona Schutzen and SS Skupel. If they get close enough, they're probably going to take out the Panzergrenz, because just from pure weight of numbers. But I do have my Puma firing off, and it looks like it's spotted a Flak 39 or an 85mm, which is just the Russian one, I believe, which has pushed a little bit too far. Because it's disheartened, it got pinned down, or pinned down quite easily, and it started running away. I think one more shot and that would have taken it out, but that Ju-87 has just about saved it. We've got an AR coming in, a bomb. That could be really, really good. Perfect, in fact. Took out 4 units there of infantry, so really, really nice. It's a shame I didn't get the kill on the 85mm, but that's okay. And because those guys all went down, it's given me 2 flags here on the south, so it's back down to 13 to 11, so very back and forth at the moment. But up here on the north, on the other hand, this is where he's investing all of his light armour, it would seem, and it's starting to pay off. I'm going to lose out probably with this Panzerschreck as well, or Flammenwerfer. He's pushed all the way forward to take this flag, so it really, really is just a game of 2 halves at the moment. Does get the surrender, and that Panzerschreck's going to get spotted as well, so I'm in a bit of danger here. Bringing a Panther up to try and shoot down on these light tanks on the road. Got the Puma, which I'll turn around and it's now firing on the T60. A bit surprised that doesn't get the kill straight away, but I'm going to back it off, because against 2 of these Panzer IIs, they're probably going to be able to take it out, so I'll try and pick my engagements a bit cleverly there. I've got 2 units of infantry to guard in case anything tries to flank, so I'm just going to bide my time at the moment, wait until reinforcements arrive, and then I'll try and push up and pick off a few of these tanks. Still losing out in the centre, very sadly. It looks like he tried to send one of these HS-129s to take out my Panther D, but I've got 2 Flak 37s, Flak 36, 37mm, which have been able to repel it. And he's got a fair amount of his AA up himself to deal with my Focke-Wulf. These Focke-Wulfs, bad agility, medium resilience, and 4 20mm cannons, so they're going to be really strong in like head-on engagements, and they're going to be able to take a few shots from these 85mm. But in dogfights, they may struggle a little bit, so we'll have to see how my opponent deals with that. The Puma now is going to try and engage one of these Panzer IIs. gets a bounce there on that Kampfpanzer, and that's really not ideal. For 75 accuracy, that's a real shame, but I do have my Panther now shooting as well. A bit disappointed there. That should have really done a bit more than it did from that distance on a Valentine. Definitely rate the Panther to take this thing out from there. Okay, we do get the kill, so that's not so bad, but he's going to know that's there. He's got these Rona shoots them, which have of course got the Faust Patron, so if he'd moved them up, he would have been able to take out this Panther. So I'm going to back that off, and once again, just wait for some more infantry to support. This Stug's still not really done anything. 85 points, just not really being very effective at the moment. Looks like I'm going to try and make a bit of a push down here on the south. Pioneer Führer only got 2 men. It does have the HE against a disheartened unit. Gets the kill from the frag. So lovely stuff there. Now all of a sudden, my opponent is now looking a bit light, and we've got the Focke-Wulf coming in to suppress those grenadiers. Again, pins them down, gets the surrender. These T-34s are going to be forced to push up and try and help out, but if they come a little bit too close, the Panzerfaust of the Panzergrenz is going to go off. So whether or not I'll be able to use that doesn't look like. I'm going to try and make the play. I've got a nice hold at the moment on this southern area, but he's investing heavily now to counter the bombers. These Flak 85mm are also going to be able to help deal with the Panther. That Panzer Schreck, it looked like, did the work. I wasn't expecting a push from this middle area. I should have pushed this recon tank up to spot anything coming towards it, but bit of a misplay there, and I'm going to pay the price. That Panzergrenz unit pushed too far, but it doesn't really matter too much. I'm holding the flag, and that's the important thing. It's still 13 to 11. It's been really back and forth. Looks like the fighter's going to come in again, aiming for these T-34s. He's going to get the kill this time. Takes out one, pins down the Flak 38. It's not bad, not a bad trade. Up on the north again, my Pioneers and my Stern Pioneers have been able to regain a bit of a foothold. Looks like the Panther did go down. So I'm assuming to one of these Pack 40s, which have also been bombed, but not surrendered, not killed. So I am losing my grip at the moment on this north side, and if I lose this hill, it is really tough to retake. My opponent will have a lovely watch on anything coming down this road, and it's going to make it really hard for me to reinforce it. I'm going to start investing now so I can push the tree line from the middle, which is probably a better bet, especially if yeah, they're Stern Pioneers. Stern Pioneers, really strong unit in the heavy forests, which of course there are so many on this map. So if I can get them into the heavy forest, they're going to clean up these infantry in there. Looks like all these guys are going to go down. Valiant effort, but not going to be enough to keep them there, it looks like. Looks like the Panther did go down. I'm assuming to the Flak 85mm. And now he's turned over the south side as well. So in a bit of a rough spot. We've just got into phase B, so now a lot more infantry are coming to support. This Stug is firing down on the hill. This was the one that was down here, which is doing okay, but it's mainly going to be there to take out this T-34. Not really any action going on in this area here. I've got a recon tank and some MG26 just holding, which is probably not a bad move. I don't really have enough of the men to commit to a push through the middle. I'll have to go all the way up to that flag if I want to get anything. This area, potentially I could have a bit of luck with, but being guarded by these light vehicles, I don't have an answer to them at the moment. The T-34 does go down to the Stug, and now that's going to give me the opportunity to push that forward and try and clean up these Pioneers, which only have HE shells, they're probably not going to do a whole lot against the Stug 4. Although, he does have an answer to it by the looks of things in the form of this HS-129 B2R2, which I think have a 30mm cannon on, and the Koruck 559 have a lot of those. I'm going to bring my fighter over to try and deal with that. He's only got a flak 20mm in the middle. So, and with the medium resilience, I would expect this is going to get the kill. Indeed it does, so I'd say that's a decent trade. Those things aren't cheap. Stug 4's not cheap either, but less than a anti-tank plane. So, could be worse. So now neither of us have any tanks here in the middle. I was going to commit to a push, it looks like, smoking off any MGs, flak 38s that were holding here. And now I've pretty much secured this middle area nicely. Ju-87 coming in with a 500 kilo bomb and two 250 kilo bombs, so that's a pretty big payload for a Stuka. Up here on the north, my stern pioneers have managed to get into the forest. I think they unloaded a little bit early, and I was forced to smoke them off. They do have access to the smoke grenades, otherwise they were going to get absolutely chewed up by the light tanks, but they managed to get through. The Stug did turn around and start shooting from this position to help support them, but I think it got flanked by these Pak 36, which of course do have the heat rounds, although it looks like it was just an AP shell that did the job. So a side shot with an AP shell on a Stug 4 is gonna do the work. 14 to 10 now to my opponent, and it's looking a bit rough for sure. I've lost my hold on the south. He's managed to resecure it with a nice combination of AA, light tanks and infantry, and a lot of infantry. I do have the middle, which is one advantage, but I've most certainly lost my hold on the north. He's a bit light on AA at this point though, so I'm going to bring my Focke-Wulf in, which is effective at close air support. And it sounds like yes, we do have a bomber, and this is the one with the 1 ton bomb and the two 500 kilo bombs. If it drops in this town here, it could do a lot of damage. Oh, indeed it does. Takes out a Pak 40 and 3 or 4 units of these land shoots and arm, and now it's going to give me the opportunity to just bomb forward with these recon tanks and retake control of the north. Of course, I just want them to move quickly to get the surrender, so that's 1, that's 2. Securing the surrenders. This Pak 40 in the trees. Obviously, I didn't know it's a Pak 40. I just know it's a unit in the trees. So, a bit reluctant at this point to commit to pushing forward the recon tanks. I'm going to let the stern pioneers do that. So, a bit more secure there. Although this isn't a position I want to be in. I've now lost control of this north to mid area. These Pak 36 and these Spavur bands. So, good play from my opponent, making the most of these cheap units, just probing everywhere that he can. Every time I commit somewhere to take out one of his pushes, he's able to just use the price of his units, utilize it, and push forward somewhere else. Makes it really, really difficult to keep a hold of things. I've got my flak 36 now firing on the infantry. I think this is a good position for it to be in. They're not really going to be able to get taken out by any tanks unless they push all the way up. That AR, this bomber could go down here, right over a flak 36, 85mm. Just dropping the 1 ton bomb, takes out 1 unit of infantry. But one of them getting away. And it's going to be difficult for me to take back this flag without any armoured support. It's mainly this 85mm, which is going to cause me problems if I bring up any armour to try and get through here. It's going to be able to get some interesting shots through the buildings. It looks like the Panther died here, so there you go. The Panther got shot probably from the 85mm through the building, or that could have been from the AT plane, I'm not sure. 13 to 11, slowly ticking away. I do have air superiority at this point, but my opponent recognises that, bringing in 2 more flak 37mm. So now I'm going to be limited with my use of air up north. I think this is the right move though. The trick is when you're using planes, you've got to go where the AA isn't. And on the south, that's where the AA was predominantly. He even had a flak 38 in the middle. Well, now he's got two flak 38s in the middle again. So the north was going to be my best bet, but he's now going to try and deal with that with these flak 36, 37mm. They are going to get shot at now by this Panther, and if I can push my infantry up, there's nothing guarding them. So I could pick off a few kills. I've now completely regained this area, which is really, really nice. And I've got a Stug moving up to this mid to north area as well. But I've got to be careful. Of course, the Sperverband with his Panzerschrecks and the Panzerfaust, they're going to be able to take it out quite easily. I think I'm ever so slightly just out of, yeah, look at that, just down the hill from them. So they might be able to hear it, but not see it quite yet. They have to push out of the heavy cover in order to do so. Now starting a bit of a push in the middle again. Got another Panzer T-34 to try and support his Pioneers and his Landesschützen. It looks like a 122mm as well coming in. So again, another Russian unit. This 122mm howitzer, really, really close range. So just going to be able to pin down all these units in here. So nice play here. They fire pretty fast, these 122mm as well. There's one Pioneer down. The Stern Pioneers aren't in range as of yet. I need to back them out really, because if they push out to deal with them, the T-34 is going to fire on them. I guess if I back them out, they're getting fired on by the 122mm, so they're going to go down. And it looks like we're going to lose the middle area, although the 122mm is still firing, and of course these are disheartened units, so if he doesn't stop that, it looks like it's just an attack ground order, then they could all get pinned and fall back, which indeed they do. They all do. Oh dear, oh dear. Pinned down by his own artillery. That's just hilarious. If my Panzergrins push down here, then I could surrender all three of these guys, but I don't know if I've noticed that's the case. But I'm holding the flag at least for the time being, so a bit of a misplay there, but it is what it is. I think I've now got my mortars firing on the 85mm, because that thing is the main worry. Got a couple of MGs here as well, which I think are a good choice. They're going to try and... I was trying to get them to path like down through here, but it just wasn't having any of it. It wasn't going to let me, because if they push up and around, they're a little bit open, but... Either way, MGs against AA guns, I think they're gonna win out, especially with the Stug there backing them up. So we'll see how that goes on. Back on the north now. The flak 36 now getting engaged by the recon tanks and my infantry pushing up, trying to take some ground. I've got my Panther, got a nice sight line down this road. Does it see the T-34? Yes, it does. One more shot and that's going to go down. My opponent probably recognises that. This is a 3 Chevron Panther. Down it goes. So there's his medium armour out. We pulled it back. Oh no, sorry, I've not pulled it back. It's still 13 to 11 to my opponent, but chasing down this flak 36. Those Panzergrins going to lose out. Pure weight of numbers. Where's that bomber just dropped? Bomber just dropped down here on this middle area, because that's where a big cluster of units was, and all I had was a Flammenwerfer and a recon tank to guard it, but that T-34 now, even though it says, oh no, that's firing on the mortars, so be careful there, but he's going to push that forward, and yeah, going to try and take out the recon tank. I need to back that off, but not going to back it off in time, and that's going to go down. So good use of the T-34s here. They're really good for cleaning up light vehicles like that, and of course they do have 2 machine guns, so good against infantry as well. Landesschützen, no AT there, so that's not the worry. So the Panther is bombing forward, and this cluster of units, I do look set to win out on the fight against them. But they're going to catch out my Pioneer Führer, which was a little bit late to the show. This Panther, I don't know why it didn't shoot on the flak 36, and maybe I didn't see it, but this recon tank needs to push forward and take that out. Certainly win the fight there. Here we go, now it will start shooting on it. So my opponent pushing through down the middle with the T-34 and these light recon tanks. Of course they can't take flags themselves, but the T-34 can. So it is 12 to 12, even though he's just regained this flag. There you go, it looks like the AT plane did come in and take out the Panther, which is a really big loss to me. They're not cheap, and that was one of my Chevron units as well, so a good play there. I can't really send any of my fighters out to try and take it out, just because of these two Flak 36s as well. In my mind, I think that's the most effective way to use planes. AT planes like this in particular. You send them in, take out a tank, then back them off over some AA to prevent fighters from taking them out. It means that the only way that your opponent can deal with them is through AA of their own, so they have to invest in AA, which of course I haven't. I don't think I've got any AA on this north side. Mine is all concentrated down here on this south. Looks like we've got the Stuka Fuss. I think it fired out down here by the looks of things. An interesting unit, not a cheap unit, with these napalm bombs. 155 points, but I've got a supply munitions truck to keep it topped up on ammo, so I can keep on battering whatever comes down this way. Just about holding this flag here in the middle, and the Stug that gets a nice kill on that Panzer 26, and that's going to give me, is it going to give me the flag? Yes, it is. Going to give me the flag. It looks like the MGs have done the job, taking out the AA, which had pushed it quite far forward, and this is not where it wants to be. Right into the well, a Pack 40, 2 MGs, a Stug, and some Panzergrenadiers all firing on these infantry, so you'd expect all these to go down. I'm amazed that that transport truck didn't get taken out. A hardy thing. So yeah, they're all going to fall back. And this is where having a disheartened units probably helps you, as I mentioned earlier. If I were busy up north microing, and these guys got pinned down, then they would just get chewed up. But because they're falling back now, there's a good chance they'll get into some light cover and out of sight, and I'd be able to use them again a little bit later on. 12 all. I do have the ticket disadvantage, even though I think I've traded okay. This 122, of course, it does have the heat shells, so if they get one penetration onto one of these Stugs, then it's going to go down. And I need to be careful here. Is he using the heat shells? It looks like he's just using the HE at this point. He's just targeting the area by the looks of things. So I need to push one of these Stugs forward to take that out, really. On the north, my opponent has completely regained what he had before. This Tiger making the difference. I think because he took out my ability to use my planes, and after he dealt with my Panther, he was able to just push through with all of his light vehicles, his infantry, and of course this Tiger E. So, going to force me to reinvest again and try and retake it. I got my Stern Pioneer now into this cluster of forest. Of course, this is a little bit weird. The front line has moved all the way back here, but there are some units hiding in the trees. Verband against Stern Pioneers, they should get absolutely melted. And once they go down, then that's going to free me up to try and push into this town if I want to. Stug has been pushed up. I think now it is going to be able to start taking shots at the 122mm. I'm just a little bit wary here of pushing too far forward. I knew that there was this T-34 behind enemy lines. I didn't know particularly where though. If this Panzergrenadier unit had pushed forward through this heavy cover, it would have been able to take this out. Same goes for this SPW. But I've got the Stug now coming around to try and find it. I think I can hear the tank driving around. At this point I was zooming in really close to try and hear it, but I just couldn't see it because the front line had backed off. So he's doing the smart thing and taking that back. I'm going to try and flank my Panzergrenadiers and my Stern Pioneers in the middle. I've now pushed it back to a 13 to 11, but he's reinforced the south side with Tiger E, these two light vehicles, and they're going to make light work of my MGs, which they've done a good job. They took out the units I wanted them to deal with. I've got a nice little firing line here onto this Tiger. for my Pack 40. It's a nice penetrating shot. This Stug could really do with pushing forward and helping it. Are we going to get the kill? No, the Pack 40 is missing. It's going to start shooting back at it. Get the bounce. And we've got the jet bomber coming in now as well. Tyree has already gone down to the Pack 40, but the bomb takes out the 2 recon tanks, so good stuff there. And of course that's 3 flak 20mm, which you would probably say are the best equipped to take out a jet bomber, but it's just so quick, it just backs off so fast, and that's gone. Looks like was that a bomb that just took out that Tiger I think? Yes, it was. Yeah, that bomber came in and took out that Tiger as well. So that's my opponent's. I don't know how many Tiger he has access to, but it's very, very limited. So 2 Tiger down, which is really, really crucial for me at this point. Of course, he does still have one of the Flak 36. I think my Panzergren's managed to take out the other one. And I've got these guys behind enemy lines, so if they push forward, they might be able to fire on this and take it out. The Stern Pioneer, they haven't managed to clean up this Spurverband, and now this recon tank's just making light work of them. I needed to push them back, but I must have been microing elsewhere and didn't notice it. Fighters coming in, just dealing with these Landesschützen. Medium resilience. I think it should be able to get out. Even though that was a bit risky, but yeah, falling back now and it should be okay. Another fighter in there as well, so I've definitely got control of the sky, to say the least. This Focke-Wulf's have helped me clean up. Doesn't look like he's brought any fighters of his own, but lots of bombers. Here we go, now we've got the Panzergrens firing on the Flak 36. Should be able to take it out. DBD, so that's that gone. And it opens up for me to utilise my fighters again. I've got this one strafing this recon tank down here. 4 20mm cannons you would think would be enough to take it out. Of course they don't have a penetration value, a 20mm bullet, but I think from sheer damage we should be able to take it out. So another Tiger coming on. That must be surely his last one. I can't imagine he's got access to many more than that. I've managed to regain the south, although I've most certainly lost this middle area, and my opponent's going for a push now. I was stuck. That's an unfortunate trade. Losing it, trading out with a T-34, and that was a 2 barracks. He stuck as well, so a bit disappointing there. And now he's got a lot of infantry pushing forward to try and take this flag in the middle, and I've not got many infantry of my own to try and deal with that. It does seem like infantry battle groups and infantry heavy decks are the way to play 1v1s. There are certainly maps where you can utilise having heavy tanks and lots of them, but it seems to be the majority of maps have a good amount of heavy cover, which don't make it easy, but you can certainly find a way to utilise infantry easier than you can with heavy to medium armour. And that is certainly what this battle group, this Koruck 559 does. Initially when I saw I was against Koruck 559, I thought this should be relatively straightforward, but how wrong I could be is I'm losing at the moment, 13-11. Bit of back and forth game though. He certainly held the points for longer than me, as the ticket balance would suggest, but not without his fair share of casualties, that's for sure. This 122mm, I don't know if it was able to take out the Stug here in the middle, but it's not firing on this recon tank I've got here, which is doing a nice job of cleaning up the infantry that are progressing forward here. Should stop them from making the push, to be honest. But this is a tricky spot now. We're into phase C, and of course both in Vanguard, so our income has been severely hampered. That HS-129 going for the Stug, probably going to go down here to the Focke-Wulf. Indeed it does, and the Focke-Wulf should get out in time. Indeed it does. So I think the fact that I moved the Stug back saved it a little bit, because it ended up just shooting with its smaller guns rather than its main cannon. And obviously having all this AA down here to support my tanks has been a good move. My thought process was, I can hold this southern area is probably where I can be the most effective with my Panthers, So this is where I'm going to want to have my AA to back them up. So certainly the right play, and it's given me the flag, but at the end of the day it's just really, really tough for me to try and push forward and take this bridge, and this flag here in the middle. In hindsight, potentially I could have invested even more down here. I think I needed to commit to taking this middle ground and really, really pushing hard, and then I could take this flag and make it really, really tough for him to reinforce here, maybe get some Panzerschrecks and some Panzerfaust into the buildings, and of course shoot on the sight lines of these roads. There's all sorts of lovely areas which could make it really difficult. So, another Tiger E coming on. So that's 4 Tiger E's been deployed now. This recon tank out of sight of the Tiger, chewing up the Grenadiers. Another 1-ton bomb coming in. I think that's going for the Tiger, but he recognises that that is going to be the case, so he's backing that off. And these Panzer Grenadiers behind enemy lines, they were coming in to try and take it out, but getting pinned down now by the Tiger. I need to back them out. So closely contested up on the north, 13 to 11 still. But as I mentioned, this is just the benefit of having sheer weight of numbers. You're able to probe in so many different places and give you the flag just to hold for a brief amount of time. This is the big boy bomber for sure, the 1-ton and the 2 500 kilo bombs. I don't know where that's just dropped. Is it here? Nope. Okay, went for the 122mm, but look at that. A rare sight. The bomber going down, and that's a really, really big loss. That's the one with the... well, that's the big boy one, as I said. I don't think I queued the evacuate order in time. It flew straight over these flak 38s and then straight over these ones, which is just not what you want. If it was going to survive, it would have had to turn the other way, so bad luck there. Poor micro as well. If I'd microed it right, it probably would have survived, but hey ho, we live, we learn. Panzerschreck, get a nice shot off, taking out one Panzer Grenadier. He's probably going to unload this second one. Yep, indeed he does. Pioneers, I think he'll be able to get their nade off. This Panzerschreck too close for comfort and going to go down. Lots of infantry down here in the middle now. And all I've got is 2 Pioneers. 2 Pioneers on this side, Panzer Grenadier Pioneers on this side. That unit's probably going to struggle. I need this recon tank to push forward. That Tiger E's backing off. I've now got a Panther and a Stug 3 of my own. I've got no AA up here, so I've really been forced to deploy this to deal with the Tiger E. Because I've got no AA, he may be now thinking he can bring in that HS-129 to deal with, if not Panther, the Stug as well, so going to be interesting. And now here we go, another charge on the mid to north area of these Panzer 35Rs. I think these are French tanks by the looks of things. Indeed they are, so I don't know how the if they are Hungarians who ended up with some French tanks. They just seem to have a little bit of everything, these boys. A bit of German, a bit of Russian, a bit of French, a bit of English. A little bit of everything. We've got the Stuka firing. Let's have a look how effective this is. This napalm bombs on the infantry in this middle, pinning down these infantry, which is just what I needed. Oh, look at that, and that final shot, getting the kill on both of them, so that's worth it, for sure. Generally speaking, the Panzer Grenadier Nordland doesn't have access to the best artillery. I tried in a former game bringing in the, I think it's the Rheinwerfer, or something like this, something similar. It's a bit like the Katusha, it fires off like lots of rockets, but it didn't seem very effective. I wasn't able to get any kills, and the spread was just too large, so I'm going to try bringing this one in and see how this gets on. It seems like a good choice, to be honest, even though it's not expensive. It is expensive, sorry. It acts like a Nebelwerfer, that kind of thing, and easy enough to restock. Just got to keep it topped up with these from this munitions truck. So I've regained up top on the north. It looks like the Tiger E did go down, but my opponent has responded by sending off an attack into this area, and that's like Stern Pioneer's going to stand no chance. So it's going to be tough for me to take it back. I think now you can see from all the tanks being deployed and Pioneer Fuhrers, I'm starting to run really, really low on infantry. We're well into phase C. I've now deployed an Avclara, just simply because it came with these 250-10s. Duo veterancy, or the 2-star veterancy, to make them a bit more accurate. 3-star veterancy with the Stug 3 there, the Stug 3 Führer. And these are going to help me to clean up some of these light tanks, although for some reason that's not shooting on this one here. The sight lines on this game, they certainly need to be looked at by UGen at some point. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why I'm right hovering onto this Stug 3 and it said it was perfectly in sight of this Panzer 35R, but you look at the Panzer 35R and there's no way it can be spotted, so very odd. I've now got these recon tanks bombing forward. I think they were looking to try and see if that 122mm was still there, but indeed they weren't, so they're just going to keep on ploughing through. He's now got a good hold on here in the middle, and with my lack of infantry starting to show, it's going to be really, really tough for me to try and retake it. I think that was a mistake there. I don't think I meant to pick up that Flak 4188. I just wanted to resupply the Stuka. I don't know why it's called Stuka zu was. Weird name. Stuka I always think of as the bomber, the Ju-87, so maybe they're made by the same company or something, I don't know. 500 kilo bomb coming in, doing a lot of damage, but not getting a kill on either of my tanks, which is ideal. Going to clean up some of these infantry here. I am now on a double tick, even though I have pushed really nicely up here. Mainly because, once again, probing units pushing forward, taking this flag, holding it for a period, throwing a Pioneer. And it looks like I'm just starting to lose out on a lot of fronts here. I do still have access to plenty of these light recon tanks, a few MGs. Interesting engagement here. 250-10 against the 35R, both perfectly capable of killing each other, but there we go. 2-star veterancy paying off, making the reload speed pretty fast. Plenty of penetration to take out a vehicle like that. The only problem is, because it's only a recon tank or a recon vehicle, it's not going to give me that flag, so I need to, right now at this stage, be equipping all of my recon vehicles with an MG, just a unit of infantry so that I can hold the flag, because we are now getting to the stage in the game where it is just about holding flags. It's been so back and forth though. I was on a double tick and now, look at that, it's now switched back over to my opponent losing flags, 11-13. I guess because I managed to take this one down here, although he's just retaking himself. I've got my recon vehicles bombing forward. They should be able to take out these 20mm. And here they go. I've not got them on attack order, they're just going to carry on moving. Nice and aggressive. Suppressing it so much it's going to stop firing and die off there. Panzer T-34 coming in to try and take them out, but not before they've done the damage, I would have thought. And I've even got the AR firing. Another Stuka coming in. Maybe just a little bit too far forward, that one. But suppressing the units for sure. Need to take out these AT planes, and indeed the Focke-Wulf does the job. Cleaned up all those Flak 38s down here, so that's nice. Probably going to lose out this this recon tank, but you know, it's pretty much out of ammo at this point anyway with its 20mm cannon, so it did the job. Took out a few AAs, so it could have been worse. That's given me the flag, and now it's down to a double tick to my opponent. I'm now holding 15 flags because I pushed up here. I am now holding this one with the MG as well. Looks like the 250-10 did go down, but just too many infantry dotted around the place. Throwing a Pioneer just behind this MG, you know, pushing a Panther into light cover next to heavy forest is the last thing you want to be doing with it. Simply because, you know, especially against a battle group like this, there could be so many 80 weapons lurking. So yeah, we're getting really desperate now. Battery Furies are the only infantry I've got left, and I'm going to be using them purely to try and just hold these flags. So I think I'm going to deploy them, maybe try and bomb that middle area again, and then go from there. I've got 2 IG-18s, going to be acting very similar to how the MG did, pushing aggressively and trying to give me control of that flag. I potentially could have pushed this recon tank all the way forward to try and take off this spawn, which wouldn't have been a bad idea, but easy enough for my opponent to just send one of these light tanks up to destroy it, so got to be careful there. This is a flag that he seems to have retaken with these pioneers for now, but I could certainly take them out with my pioneers of my own and the Panzergrens. A couple of Pak 36, 37 mils. These do have the heat shells as well, so they're going to be able to take out the Panther and the Stug if they're not careful. Focke-Wulf coming in there, nice strafing run. I think it was the IG-18 that took out the SPW. This Pak 40, look at that. 2 shells left. I can't remember the last time I saw an AT gun use up effectively all of its ammo, but it's been really, really good for me on this in this heavy forest. Got some really good value out of it. Probably been my most effective unit in the game, to be fair. Apart from maybe one of the bombers. I'm going to bring another one in, maybe just to help. And of course, these things do hold flags, so and at this point, that is what I'm looking for. Even though I do have fewer infantry, or I have no infantry left to deploy, I am still winning it 14 to 10, and I've got this flag once more. Very tense fight up here. I don't really want to be too aggressive with these Stugs, cause, you know, with the tanks. I just don't know what's lurking, basically. Yeah, the Stuka now will be firing on these Panzergrens. I think I was mainly just using those pioneers to find out where specifically they were. There looks like they're going to be chasing after the pioneer, which is not what I wanted. I wanted them to hang around in that area. So maybe if I can get the Battery Fury to engage on the pioneer, they may be forced to come back and try and support their brethren. Got the Stug now, holding this flag for the first time. I don't think I managed to secure this flag once, but it is giving me the double tick. I got this SPW 231 through sheer fire rate is knocking out this 35R. These Panzer 36 mils, they could quite easily pushed up and taken out this recon tank, but I don't know if my opponent was just waiting. He knew that I had these 2 tanks back here, and he didn't want to expose their presence. But maybe he'll push forward and take them out in a second. Take that out in a second, I don't know. Something just went down there. Nice kill from the IG-18s. 8 to 16 now. Absolutely crazy game. It looks like my opponent's starting to run a little bit short on infantry of his own as well, but still bringing in some SS Schupo. I think I was starting to think maybe if I had a recon plane at this point, it would have been really, really helpful as well. If I had a recon plane buzzing around here, I could have just sent in my Focke-Wulfs to strafe transports, and that would have made a huge difference, making them unload all the way back here and run all the way forward. So maybe I'll change the deck and add in a recon plane. Has the Stuka fired yet? It looks like it did fire. I took out maybe 1 or 2 units in there, but most of the grenadiers have moved into this forest now. 250-10 does of course have a HE shells. Oh, look at that! That Messerschmitt got off its bomb literally just in time. Before it got overly suppressed. I should be able to take it out with these Focke-Wulfs. Yeah, that thing is pretty fast. It's amazingly fast, actually. It does have an oil leak as well. But can I get away? What do you know? The jet bomber coming in. Where's that going? In the middle? Yes, is indeed. Taking out Pioneer, suppressing one of the Furies, but I think it did also suppress 2 of my Battery Fuhrer. Look at this, 2 Battery Fuhrer trying to hold this flag in the middle. Unbelievable stuff. So I did spot one of the transports, so the Focke-Wulf did try and engage, and it forced him to unload there, I think. And I do have the IG-18s trying to fire as well, so gonna keep me on this flag for the time being. Engagement on the north, recon tank goes down probably to this Panzer 7 TP. It's just a never-ending supply of these things. They're always different as well. P, so that's a Polish tank. It's just the Koruck 559 is just the biggest mutt of a battle group. It really is. 50 minutes in here, trying to bring the flag balance back down my favour. MG, nice kill there, but that's going to expose itself. That Pioneer unit, all it has to do is push forward and take that out. And I look set to lose out now on the middle. I've got the mortars firing. I'm just throwing everything I can to take out this cluster of infantry. Try and pin them down and give the chance to my battery Fuhrer to push forward and surrender them. I've got 2 pins, which is really, really nice. But it's his 3rd unit now, which is can make the difference. And probably going to lose out against my battery Fuhrer, recognising that. Am I backing them off? Yeah, backing them away, because I don't want them to take the fire. I've got to be so careful with my infantry at the moment. Not looking in a good way on the north side now. All I've got is the Stug and the Panther, and with these Pak 36 lurking, they could definitely get a shot through these buildings and take one of them out. And even more infantry coming in. So, you know, I ran out of infantry, like proper infantry, probably about 6 or 7 minutes ago, and he's still bringing some in. So it is just boiling down to availability. And bear in mind, we're both in Vanguard, so it just goes to show how much this Koruck 559 deck has on it. Flak 36, 37mm. Oh, you hate to see it. It's heat shells taking out the Panther, and that's going to open up the floodgates for him to just push all these units through. I've got nothing here to stop it. I've got some Alpha Clara. That's about it. I don't really want these battery Fuhrer to be engaging if they don't have to. They're going to go down, and all of a sudden it's 12 all, and it is so close, but it looks like weight of numbers is going to be on my opponent's side. And I think at this point now, it is kind of inevitable what is going to happen. This Pak 36, 37mm fire another heat shell. That Stug's going down. Of course, they're not exposed until they fired 2 shots, but I just didn't notice the first one, and too little too late. I'm going to speed up the game now because it is a bit inevitable what's going to happen. It just becomes a real crazy little matchup here. Lots of Benny Hill plays. Pushing through with all these Pioneers and Panzergrenz. I've got a nice hold still on the bottom, but doesn't look like it's going to really be enough. The infantry availability is just proving too much for me to handle here. Mortars here trying to help. Just throwing everything I possibly have to give me a chance of taking out the infantry and holding on to the flags, but proving futile. He's pushed up now. He's got 2 flags here, 14 to 10, 7 minutes, 15 to 9, 3 minutes to go. And I'd come this far. I thought, well, I'm not going to surrender, even though it's looking pretty bleak. I've got these Flak 41s now, which do come in with MGs. So, absolutely crazy stuff. Even pushed up a Flak 36, 37mm, which is now going to be used as a an infantry squad. Trying to take out these grenadier units. I wonder how effective they will be. Not very, is the answer. Not very. And that's going to be that. An hour in, 61 minutes, 17 seconds. A minor victory for Dindomir. If you look at the kills, I had so many more kills, but as I say, it just came down to availability, sadly, which he had to his advantage. And that was that, really. It was a good map for him to play that division on, and it certainly worked out well for him. Even though there were some really, really hairy moments. That 122 mil doing pretty well. Before we got taken out by the bomber. An AT plane for a Panther is not a bad trade. Yeah, there's a lot of what you'd call unfavourable trades here, but as I say, it's just availability, isn't it? This pack 40, wow, I did really well. 2 Tigerese, T-34, and a Valentine. Oh my god, the the jet bombers absolutely clutch. Look how many units that is. And I think this is the bigger one as well. So even taking out Tiger, Panzer T-34, and a pack 40. So if I'd looked at this after the game and I'd seen all these kills, I'd have said, yeah, won it comfortably. But alas, it is not to be the case. But very well played from my opponent. He used the strength of his battle group really, really well. I'm sure I'll come up against him again soon. But I hope this has been an entertaining watch. Ta-ta and farewell.